A warm welcome. So welcome to 1 Million Cups Eden Prairie. Thank you, Nima and Shireen, for being here today. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You guys can see my screen, right? Okay, great. So I guess this will be a little bit different from the regular presentations you might see. We are coming to you from the island of Grenada in the Caribbean. I'm a hotelier living here. My name is Nima Anbar. We own 2 hotels here on the island, each with 50 rooms. One is a beachfront property and the other is a budget hotel. I've lived here for 23 years. I used to live in San Diego, was brought up there, got through my graduate school there, and then came here where I have my family. And we've recently moved over into the hotel technology space, which is why I'm here today. We've developed a customized hotel chatbot that engages website visitors, encourages them to book directly. And that's what I'm going to show you today. So to give you an idea, in 2019, our little budget property alone paid $42,000 worth of commissions to Expedia, Booking.com, and the rest, what we call the OTAs, or online travel agents. And for us, that figure represents about 20% of the total booking value that they send our way. And that commission is as high as about 30% for some hotels. So you can imagine how this is a problem, not just for us, but for hotels all around the world. It's a wonderful thing because, they're sending us business, but it's a love-hate relationship because we wish we didn't have to pay these sort of high percentages in terms of commissions. And so I decided to do some research on how people book. And I think we're all familiar with this. We all start out on Google and eventually end up on Expedia and Booking.com. And when we want to decide where we're going to go, the research shows that on average, we each visit about 38 different sites like TripAdvisor, different hotels and the like before we actually make the final decision. And then the irony of it is that in the end, the majority of us go right back to the OTAs to make the booking. And to give you an idea of where our business is right here. That is trying to catch them before they go away from that website. So right at the hotel website, stopping the bounce. So I started thinking to myself, what can I do? And what I did was we installed a live chat widget on our site that I could monitor. And sure enough, it was like connecting a spigot to a water line. People were visiting our site, asking all sorts of questions and wanting to know how they could reserve. But there was nobody there. And then when I was there, I couldn't handle all the incoming chats. It was just too much. And when I handed it over to staff, because they had other things doing, it was oftentimes the case where they wouldn't be able to respond quick enough, or they would be overwhelmed as well. So it was like I discovered this wonderful new gold mine of people interested in the hotel, but I could not handle all those chats. So I had to figure out a way to do something about it. And what I did was develop a concept called GuestChat. And just think of it like a front desk receptionist that's always there on the website, ready to offer rates and answer questions and make reservations. And it could be easily added to any website with 2 lines of code. And what it did for us was save a significant amount of time answering the same repetitive questions. And we got more bookings by being there 24/7 and answering instantly, being able to handle multiple chats, offering rates and reserving, and then being able to hand off to a live person when the bot could not handle it. And that's a key and integral part of how we were able to increase our sales by 9%. Let me show you how it looks. Here's exactly that bot. It sits on our website. It has just 2 lines of code that you insert on the website, and it can automatically open, or you can open it. And you can see here it is just saying, hey, I'm a virtual assistant. I can help with rates and availability. And let's put in a date here. And there you go. Once you see the dates, put in and put the adults and children. You submit, and right off the bat, you see the rates. These are our 1-bedroom apartments. There's the hotel room. It shows the occupancy, the different amenities in the room, allows you to find out what the price is, and just click, and you're one step away from making the booking. And all it is putting your name, credit card, and you're good to go. So these are the numbers that we actually saw when we put that chatbot in place from January through March of 2021 at our little budget hotel. We had 2,700 approximately visitors in the hotel during that 3-month period. 10% interacted with the bot. Half of those people approximately asked for rates. And of those, 9 made bookings, which translated into money. And that's an average booking value of $425 per stay. So in 3 months, we made $3,825. And if you translate that into a monthly, that was $1,275 for us. And based on a $100 month subscription, we think we can bring a 12-to-1 return on investment for other hotels, which is why our goal in the long term is to do this for many, many hotels. And we think if we have an average monthly rate of $100 on an annual subscription, we can get 850 hotels in about 4 to 5 years. And just to give you an idea of who we're targeting, we're going after independent hotels in North America, because these are usually the properties that are 3 to 4 star economy through upscale properties with an average daily rate of about $150, where the bot could really flourish. It's usually a hotel that has more than 50 rooms that needs to handle that kind of volume of questions and people coming on the site. And we are not the only kids on the block, but we are the new kids on the block. And there have been others that have been around about 3 to 5 years. Over in Brazil, there's a company by the name of Ask Suite, and they have about 1,400 hotels offering the same service. And they have the South American market cornered. And in France, Quick Text has about 2,000 hotels, and they are now stretching over into Asia. We are starting out, just starting our launch, and we want to focus on the Caribbean and North America. Our key differentiators are our website hotel experience. We are hoteliers. We know what it takes to not only run a hotel, but to engage people on websites and get people to book direct. And we try our best to be as practical with our experience when we provide it to our clients. What we need your help on is getting hotels to try it. Because outside of the Caribbean, we don't know many hotels. And we've actually reached out recently to the American Hotel and Lodging Association. But that is where we are, and any connections would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome, great job. You answered the question, but we always ask and make sure if there's anything else. What can our community do for you? What is the most helpful with any insights and connections? If there's anything beyond what you have on your slide.
Yeah, if you think that there's a hotel that you know of that would fit into that profile that I just gave, that really is what we're looking for. Independent hotels that might have that that connection that you guys might have with them. That's basically what we're looking for. We understand it's not always possible to do that. Not everybody has hotel connections everywhere. But then we're always open for questions and comments and insight.
Perfect. Well, with that, I'll hand it over to the community for any thoughts or questions for Nima. And Shireen, are you working with GuestChat?
Yes, I am. I'm part of the marketing team right now. So we're developing the strategy and finding prospects right now.
Super cool. Awesome.
I have a question for you. It seems strange, but obviously, I mean, your GuestChat is good for pretty much anyone who's looking to book something, right? I mean, hotels specifically is what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
like, for example, you know, booking a stay for anything in particular. So, you know, if you, the one that comes to mind is I have a friend who works at a luxury pet hotel
Mhm.
where people book their pets in for, you
Yeah.
know, extended stays because they're going on vacation or whatever. And I mean, it's like a hotel. It's not just like a boarding center. So that could be something potentially that, you know, it could use an automated bot for.
I think
Just a
so.
thought.
Yeah, that's pretty cool,
So
actually. I mean, the questions that will come at a pet hotel are going to be different. However, I have a feeling that they're going to be much more limited, which frankly is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. I'd rather have a limited number of questions. So yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, if they're open to that, I'd love for that connection.
yeah, I'll talk to him about it and see if I can get to their manager, their, you know, upper level
Yeah.
person, but just something that popped into my head.
It's a great idea.
Nima, isn't part of where kind of Expedia and Booking.com came from is some of the discrepancy in pricing for hotels and so on one hand, it's aggregating. So I'm just looking for a hotel in a specific location, but also the pricing mechanism that ranges across those hotels. And I thought it's more than just aggregating. They were also trying to get you better pricing.
Yes. I mean, I don't know where their motivations came from, but I know what the results were. And so I can tell you that definitely that's what it ended up with, but it does not mean necessarily that they have lower rates than the hotel. That's just a myth. I mean, sometimes it's the case, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's not. It depends where in the world it is. Expedia, particularly Expedia, and you know they own hotels.com and plenty of other sites. They sometimes, according to the region, do a little bit of strong arming where they require hotels to give them the absolute lowest rates. Now, for example, in Europe, they've just they've won the cases now. Hotels have made it so that they can't require that. In the Caribbean, they dictate it. So like you cannot give a lower rate or offer anywhere else. Booking.com, not so much. They're sort of, you know, hands off. They just want to give rates. They want to provide a comprehensive set of rates and hotels for any market. And they display it wonderfully. And that really is the selling point. But it's not necessarily the lowest prices.
So I think so you're helping to solve this. I think you said earlier a 20-30% commission that they take on the booking. So if hotels can, like, that would kind of quote unquote drop to the bottom line if you can eliminate or minimize that. But what is the benefit to the consumer? Is it just that they can book it right now instead of pivoting back to Expedia, so it takes a step out of the process? Or
no, it depends on the hotel, but there's a lot of benefits. And in fact, I think it's kind of cool for me to show you guys so you can kind of see for yourselves what it would look like when you were to ask that question. So let me just quickly pull up one so you can kind of see it for yourself. Hold on. So let me show you this. So here's a site on the island of Dominica. Yeah, you guys can see this, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So let's just say let's see what it says. And I misspelled it, which is kind of cool. If it gets it, well, there you go. So here are some benefits. You're going to get some things that you would never get through Expedia. And actually, in their case, it's some really wonderful benefits. And so this is the kind of bot that encourages that direct booking by saying, hey, these are the advantages. Hey, check out our specials, you know, and take you to those spaces so they can show them the different specials. And whatever it can do to entice people so that, for example, they put themselves in that spot and think, you know, I want to be there. This is the place to book because it's giving me reasons to book here. That's sort of the, if I got that across, the incentive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I almost wonder if the bot pops up automatically, like put that as part of the enticement, like right away.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's the hook, right? Book, and you
Sure.
get all this stuff that you're not going to get from Booking or Expedia.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I like that.
Okay.
David, I think you might want to be on mute.
Okay, great. Yeah, I got that. Thank you, Andrew. That is helpful. It's what we've thought about as well. And it's just presentation and things like that. We have a little bubble that pops out so that not the chat bot can be minimized, right? But then the little bubble pops out with, hey, would you like to see our specials? Hey, have you seen the benefits of booking direct? So then it's sort of like just attention grabber that gets them to have a look. So yeah, that's what we're thinking. We're thinking of turning this thing into a booking bot.
I was going to ask, this maybe more for Shireen, since she's the marketing person that she mentioned. What are your current marketing efforts to get? So like what you just showed us, right? If I'm a random Joe who's wondering about your app, like do people outside of a very small circle of you understand that that's exactly like what your bot does? Or is it only when you can talk to someone and say, hey, this is what our bot does? Right? How many people know that message? Because that's really important.
What are you asking? If it is that people can go on the site and understand that's what it does?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So what Nima just showed us, right? Like this is the benefits of going and using our bot and booking directly from this as you get all this stuff. Like, is that part of your messaging? Do people know that as part of your marketing efforts?
So currently we're literally going to people to speak to them, to do presentations. And right now we're prospecting. So we're getting a list of persons that we're going to reach out to, whether it's email marketing or whatever it is, to deal with that. Right now, also we're developing our website so that in the event that somebody does come to the site, they will be able to see what it is, what's possible once you get that bot on your site. So that's it. That's what we're working on right now.
All right. So this is a work in progress still.
Yeah, but he has a good point. Jeremy has a good point. What he's essentially saying is, hey, you got this really cool thing, but hey, nobody knows about it. And because when Andrew saw it, he was like, hey, that's cool. And in fact, we get that response from most people when they see it, right? But what Jeremy's saying, and I think it's quite an intelligent comment, which is like, yeah, but who cares? Nobody's seeing it. You need to figure out a way so that people can see it and understand the benefit right away. Really good point.
Yes, that's the reason I ask that is that's kind of what I do. I'm a video strategist. So my job is to actually help businesses like you guys get that message out to people using video where they can actually see that. Because yeah, if no one knows that that's what your stuff does, it doesn't matter. And the thing is that you mentioned is once they see it, they're like, oh, that is really cool. Like, yeah, it is. You should definitely come check it out. But you got to get that out there to people so that they know it.
The only thing is about that, Jeremy, is, to be very honest, we're running on a shoestring budget. And, you know, the whole video thing is wonderful. In fact, we've talked about it, you know, having some sort of explainer video, right? That could do wonderful things for it. Now, sometimes that's going to help. Sometimes maybe it's not necessarily the way to go. But, you know, first of all, if you're going to do that, you have to have a really slick video that's clear, clean, concise, done, and they get it. And beyond that, it's got to be targeted towards essentially people who run hotels. You know what I mean? It's not for the average Joe, because what does the average Joe care about this, right? So, you know, when you make that tall order, it's almost like, given where we are, we can't do it.
You know, by the way, I'm not trying to sell you my services. I
No, I know.
understand. I understand completely. The video's not super cheap.
Yeah.
I get it 100%. You know, I would say, I guess, I don't know where your marketing efforts are going. LinkedIn is obviously going to probably be the best place since it's B2B.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can do a lot of stuff LinkedIn organically. You know, you can, I mean, to be honest, you can probably shoot a video with your cell phone showing exactly what you just did and just put it on LinkedIn as organic posts and maybe refurbish it a few times and just keep it going. You know,
Yeah.
it wouldn't cost you.
That's an idea. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think, and I'm no marketing expert by any means, but I think from the hotel's perspective, right, the value proposition is very clear, right? And then when you add the hook from the consumer side, I think that's what makes it compelling. I love use case studies where you can say, I mean, if you're using it on your website, right, and you're able to show the conversion that you're getting, I think that would, you know, that might be another thing that when you're pitching to an independent hotel, this is what we think we can do. This is what we've been able to demonstrate in live fire, real people booking hotels. And then here's this really cool thing. I mean, I think the coolest thing about what you showed is what the consumer gets is we all love someone making us feel like we're special. And that's what I liked about that little hook.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, pictures and stuff too, like that's always awesome when you get these great views and whatever. But when you give people that emotional tie
So
that you are special and this is how we're going to treat you.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when they get to the hotel, you got to execute against that. But still, in terms of getting it booked, I think that's pretty neat.
Yep. Thank you. Yes, indeed. That's our job, really, to make sure that happens.
What kind of
I
partners?
think you're on mute, Patrick. Or if you're not on mute, we can't hear you.
You can't hear. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What kind of like distribution partners do you have? Like in the independent hotel space, are you working with is there an independent hotel, like a group, like a industry group? And I mean, are there like peer groups of other hotel owners like yourself that you can kind of network through? Like, I'm kind of curious, like what that looks like. And then if we have other ideas on where you
Yeah,
might
so
find
there,
that.
yeah, there's the Caribbean Hotel Association, which we're a member of.
Okay.
And so we're going through them, but they're lukewarm, and partially because they're not that technologically savvy in the first place. So it's for them, it's a little bit foreign. Then it's essentially a lot of LinkedIn groups and sometimes some Facebook groups with hoteliers on them. There's some who have we just have connections in the Caribbean who have lots of hotels that they're aware of and they can put us on to. But that's it. Outside of that, once we get to the United States, it would be the counterpart like the AHLA, which is the American Hotel Lodging Association, and a ton of other hotel associations, and then of course LinkedIn.
And then when you, so but with those channels, are you primarily focused on just getting into in discussions with peers like yourself, or have you been looking to them for like advertising opportunities or ways to get the message out through their newsletters?
Yeah, so we've been doing it more along the lines of, just like I presented to you. I'm a hotelier. We've come up with this solution. We think it's a good one. We want you to try it out, have a look, see what you think. Just give us feedback. We're not even charging anything for it right now. And in fact, what our strategy is, look, we'll put the live chat capability on your site right now so you can use it for yourself. And then when you see what I'm sure of, you will see, regardless of who you are, the amount of volume that you'll have on your website that you have never been in touch with. And then when you get hit with that volume, you'll realize why you need a chat to handle that. And then you also can incorporate a live chat capability so that when the chat bot goes so far, then the human touch can come in and finish with those, let's say, qualified leads who really want to book right there. You know?
Okay. And then, yeah, I mean, that can be powerful if you could give people for free. I post, there's, you know, like in our region of the northern United States, there's, you know, a handful of, obviously we're inundated with like the big three or whatever it is now, like Hilton, Marriott, you know, it's like all the stuff in the Twin Cities is pretty much owned by them, but there is still a couple of like independent hotel groups. I posted one of them. Unfortunately, I'd helped raise several $1 million for this grand stay back in the day, but my contact has since moved on, and I don't know who kind of runs the joint anymore. And then there's in northern Minnesota could be really interesting hunting for you, because it's like it's a big resort area around Lake Superior in the Boundary Waters, and so there's places like Lutzen, Minnesota, which I'll post Lutzen.com, but there's the Lutzen Lodge, but I'd have to dig in deeper. You'd find it pretty quickly, but it's like this group called like Summit or something that owns several of the like the hotels and the properties in that area. And a lot of times they're almost like, you know, VRBO type of things where they're cabins and stuff like that they're renting out. And so it just seems like there could be some interesting you know, opportunities there, because if you got an in with some of those people, you would be able to demonstrate something in a region. Oh, run by W.A. Fisher. Well, there you go, Minnesota. Oh, perfect. There, yeah. So you guys are getting the point there. You know, I don't even have to paste it. So that was an idea I have for you too. Like if you could find like resort areas that have a lot of like independent resorts and stuff like that, because they're all like you, they're family owned, they're, you know, closely held. And it just seems like you could kind of hit it off as a peer to talk to one of them and, you know, just say, hey, give this a try and stuff like that. And you could kind of build it from there. Yeah, and I just don't know, maybe Lee or somebody else knows. Looks like, yeah, MinnesotaBedAndBreakfast.org. Oh, they're perfect. Yeah, I can imagine there's an association group of some of these little, like the independent campground and cabins and small family-owned resorts in our area.
Wonderful. I really appreciate it. That is really helpful.
Yeah, you know, looking at the business, so resorts, those type of things, people go repeat business year after year. Families go back to the same places, or maybe they'll go on the same lake, but the chat bot is because it's direct. So there isn't really a vacation destination. You don't really do that for somebody who's been experienced. You go right to the resort and you say, hey, I have a questions. You know, most of these resorts are sold by weeks, and then you have to negotiate and call if you want a weekend. Because people will say, hey, I want the 10 days, but what will happen is one family will come up one weekend and then another family will come up the other weekend, or grandparents have it the whole 10 days. And so they're splitting it up. And so then it becomes, well, I've got 3 days to sell, but I don't want to put that on my website. It's too much inconvenience. But being able to have a chat bot that says, I'm looking for 3 days. Hey, sign up for our mailing list. If we have an opening, a 1 or 2 day weekend, boom, you'll be able to come. And then they also have events that people fill up that only go for 2 or 3 days as well.
Yeah, looks good. Looks really good. I'm checking them out now.
So
Thank you.
connect with me. I can connect you with one person at WA Fisher who they run that website and they run the whole thing. So that might be a sale to a sale kind of thing.
I appreciate it. Lee, what's your last name?
Prinkala. There, I'll put it in my chat.
Thank you.
Speaking of that, I wonder if
Thank you.
like web designers, if there's some of these like marketing and web designers that kind of focus in on the hotel industry, like our 1 Million Cup sponsor, Magnetic North, like they have a whole range of clients, but he really focuses on manufacturing because that's where his background and that's where they get a lot of traction is with, like, if somebody makes something. So I got to imagine there's like social media agencies and website designers that are just building websites for the hotel industry. Do you have any of those types of relationships?
Yeah, well, we know that they are there. We've
Yep.
been holding off on getting them. So yeah, we want to be ready when we go out to them, because here's the thing, we have several hotels already onboarded and live, right? We just want to have our feet under us in terms of all our marketing material. We're redoing our web page, having all the social media up and running so that we just are a more robust offering before we go out.
Yeah, okay.
This is very helpful. Thank you, guys. And I'm actually reaching out to you guys on LinkedIn.
And I was just thinking, you guys are in the Caribbean, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just thinking, I'd love to fly out there and shoot some videos for you guys. That sounds like a great, especially around like maybe the January time here in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I would love to go out there and shoot. I'll do it just go out there.
Well,
So Jeremy, I'll take you up on that because my daughter is going to vet school in St. Kitts, which is it's not as far south as Grenada, but it's along the way. So
Sure.
we could do it together, Jeremy. That would be awesome.
and Shireen was just in St. Kitts about a week ago. 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Additional questions and feedback for Shireen and Nima? All right.